#1 source for the sports gamer.
Welcome back, sports gamers. It's The Natural. One of the most asked questions on all of our NCAA videos and articles is whatever happened to NCAA basketball? It's a question we've received frequently ever since we started covering the total mess between Ed O'Bannon and the NCAA, and at one point EA Sports. While there are a large number of people who like to see NCAA football make a return, including popular figures like Kirk Herbstreit and Todd Howard, there are a lot of people who like to see NCAA basketball return as well. We hear you. Fans of college football have only gone 3 years without seeing a new game in that franchise, but fans of basketball have gone much longer. In fact, the last iteration of NCAA basketball was released in 2009. That's almost twice as long. So what happened? Why did NCAA basketball end in 2009? And why did NCAA football continue for several more years? It's an interesting question. Let's take a look at the facts. In 2010, the franchise was officially shelved. David Tinson, speaking on behalf of EA Sports as Senior Director of Communications, told Game Informer that they were currently reviewing the future of the NCAA basketball franchise. We all know what followed, and now it's 2016 and we're left without any college basketball game on the market. What's interesting about the decision that he's also quoted as saying that EA would remain a committed partner to the NCAA. While it seems to have been on NCAA's decision and not EA's, that partnership came to an unfortunate end in 2013 as a result of the Ed O'Bannon case, leading many to speculate that EA probably would not be involved if NCAA were to return to video games. Clearly, the decision to cease production of NCAA basketball wasn't due to the lawsuit, as EA and NCAA maintained their partnership after the fact. So then what was it that made EA decide to cancel the franchise? It's possible that it was actually a lack of sales combined with mediocre reviews. Now, taking a look at the Metacritic, you can see that the franchise varied in critical opinion from installation to installation, even receiving different scores across platforms. NCAA Basketball 09 received a 74 at its peak with the March Madness edition of the game, even scoring a much lower 55 rating on the PS2. It seems that NCAA Basketball 10 didn't do much better, managing a 75 on Metacritic. Not a bad score, but gamers know an 80 is pretty much the cutoff point when people consider a game good or not. So what about sales? VG Chart, which provides estimated sales data, says the NCAA Basketball 10 sold 300,000 copies. From our research, this ancient article from GameStop claims that the game only sold 155,000 copies. Whether it was 155,000 or 300K, the numbers aren't exactly good. To put those numbers in perspective, the NBA 2K franchise was selling around 2 million copies at the same time. NBA 2K9 sold a confirmed 2 million across all platforms. To be fair, sales-wise, college sports aren't necessarily going to be on the same level as professional, but they're certainly the next best thing. I've already talked about the money that they generate. The NCAA as a whole nearly topped $1 billion in revenue in the 2014 fiscal year alone. So there's definitely big money in college sports. But if a game is only selling 100K to 300K copies, it might not have been enough to justify the development. By comparison, NCAA football topped the NPD charts for the month it was released in 2014, which is typically a really good sign. The games NCAA football beat out that month: Minecraft, The Last of Us, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and NBA 2K13. Now that is a serious list of heavy hitters. Although NPD report doesn't include the number of sales each title has in a given month, it's clear NCAA football was still doing well in 2013. It seems the reason then, despite the vitriol that Ed O'Bannon gets, that the motivating factor for EA Sports canning NCAA basketball may have actually been sales. Clearly, EA wanted to hold on to their partnership with NCAA as NCAA football saw continued release to good sales. It's entirely possible NCAA basketball wasn't performing as well as they liked. It's hard to say definitively why NCAA basketball was shelved ahead of NCAA football. For now, all we can do is speculate until someone speaks on the matter. Based upon our research, it seems like it came down to a combination of poor sales and the mounting lawsuit, as well as ratings not being that great. But now that much of the litigation is over and athletes are finally receiving their checks, maybe we'll see a return. As to whether or not we'll see the return of it in 2017 season, evidence points to that being highly unlikely. If NCAA football is shelved despite massive interest from EA and the fans, I doubt we'll see NCAA basketball return next season. Now, as far as NCAA football goes, there's been some rumblings in the community about a company that's looking to fill the void left by EA with a Kickstarter-funded football game. But we haven't seen any hard evidence that would lead us to believe it's more than just some ideas on paper at the moment. But if we receive anything concrete, you guys will be the first to know. If you enjoyed the video and want to hear more about NCAA football, basketball, and your favorite sports games, drop a like, subscribe, and make sure you turn those notifications on to Sports Gamers Online. This is The Natural. I'm out. Welcome back, Sports Gamers. It's The Natural, and if you've been following our latest NCAA updates and news, you will know athletes are finally starting to receive their checks from EA as part of the settlement reached in the Ed O'Bannon lawsuit. EA settled with the players, and now the money has been paid out, even though the case versus NCAA continues. Being a part of the sports as well as sports gaming community, I'm ecstatic to say we've been able to get our hands on one of the checks sent out by EA to the players in this settlement. As you can see here right on the screen, we actually have a check in our hands, and I have here on the screen for you guys.